Hi everyone. Okay, so I wanted to do a fairly brief video, just kind of going over a little about who I am, a little bit about how this course is going to work, and then kind of a brief overview of our syllabus and just what you can expect this semester in this class, which is Math 012 Intermediate Algebra. So I'll start by saying a little bit about myself. My name is Elton Bowman. I'm a graduate student here at Wichita State, and I'm studying harmonic analysis under Dr. Robert Fraser. So I've been teaching for about 2 years and really enjoy the teaching aspect of this job. It's been a very rewarding experience to do that, and I'm looking forward to another semester of doing that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So this class is an online intermediate algebra class. And so I want to kind of explain a little bit about my teaching philosophy, specifically as it relates to online college math classes. Okay. So, when I'm teaching in person, one of my goals is to try to develop a relationship with every student and kind of get a really good grasp of where they're at. And while I would still like to do that, I would like you guys to reach out to me, and we can try to converse about your situation if you so desire to do that. I do view online classes as kind of a more independent way of learning a subject. Okay, so you've chosen to take an online class, so I think this means that you have chosen a route that is more self-driven. You want to be kind of more responsible for your own success or failure in this class, and so I'm going to kind of embrace that with this, which means it's really going to be largely up to you to be successful. Now, I want to be as much of a help as I can possibly be in this process. I want to be as available as I can be to help you in terms of office hours or making appointments to come speak with me. You can ask me as many questions as you want via email. We might explore some other ways of trying to ask questions in this class as well. But my job is to really assist you as much as I can. But with this being an online class, I don't meet a lot of you in person throughout the course of this class, except at the midterm and final, which we'll discuss here in a little bit. So I just will say up front, this is a class that is going to require some self-motivation on your part. I'm not going to see you every day in person in this class. So that's kind of my thoughts on teaching this semester. I want to be as available as I can be to help you should you need it. Okay, and I do encourage all of you to reach out to me and ask as many questions as you want. Okay. So, speaking of communicating with me, you may always email me any time of the day. I typically try and get back to you within 24 hours, but never more than 48 hours, okay? If you have not heard back from me within 48 hours, assume that I missed your email or that it didn't go through for some reason, okay? You may email me again and say, hey, what's up? I sent you an email earlier. My goal is to get back to everybody certainly within 24 hours, but certainly within 48 hours. At the absolute latest. So that is an expectation you can have from me, is to get back to you fairly quickly with emails. I try to even respond the same day. So if you send it before 5 o'clock in the evening, you can probably realistically expect a response the same day. I also have office hours that you can come to. I have them on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. You can show up at those times. I do like when people email me, just let me know they're going to come. That way I know to expect you, but you're always free, even without email, to come see me during those times. I will always be available on campus. And I can also do appointments over Zoom at that time as well, or Skype, or whatever works for you. I can do appointments at that time as well. And given that this is an online class as well, and many of you are not going to necessarily be on campus all day, every day, I can also do appointments at other times as well if this doesn't work for your schedule. I would just ask that you get with me and we can schedule a time to make that happen. Okay. So again, this is an online class. There won't be anything in person except for the midterm and final, which we'll get to in a few minutes. Oh, you can also contact me by my telephone, but I will say that's my office phone. I don't necessarily think that's the best way. I have to go through and check my messages if I'm going to do that. I don't always notice that I have messages. So if you want the best way to get to me, it's through email, and that's specifically through the university email, not through Blackboard. Again, I don't always notice when I have messages on Blackboard either. So really, if you need to get a hold of me, email is the way to do that. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about I guess I should also say, too, I'm in room 306 in Jabara Hall, okay? That's also, I don't know if I said that earlier, but that's also important as well to know where I am. That's my office, is room 306 in Jabara Hall. And that is on the 3rd floor. And if you need instructions for how to find that, again, feel free to email me and I can try to help you with that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the basic structure of this class and kind of what this class is for. So intermediate algebra is designed to be a class that prepares you for college algebra. Okay, so with that in mind, this is what we call a credit, no credit class, okay? What that means is that the specific grade you get actually doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have demonstrated that you have absorbed a certain amount of the material in this class so that you're prepared for college algebra. So the cutoff we have for that is 70%, and I can get into more details of that here in just a minute. But if you get higher than a 70%, you get credit for the class. If you get lower than a 70%, you do not get credit for the class. Now, this does not affect your GPA in any way that I'm aware of. It may affect scholarship stuff or financial aid, but it does not affect your GPA. So whether you pass or fail, it has no positive or negative effect on your GPA. It just means that you've received credit for the class, or it means that you haven't received credit for the class. That's all that it's saying. So what that means is, and don't take this the wrong way, but a student who gets a 71% is effectively, at least on paper, equally as qualified as a student who gets 101%. So I wouldn't fret about your specific exact grade. I wouldn't worry about a B minus versus a C plus kind of thing in this class. That's not necessarily going to be a thing that you have to stress over here. All that matters is that you're above that 70%. Having said that, I would recommend that you strive for as high of a grade as you can. Because that will just make your job that much easier in terms of not having to stress over the grade in the class. So here you can find a list of a whole bunch of topics that we're going to cover. This is in the measurable student learning outcomes here. You can find a whole bunch of these topics that we're going to cover. This isn't exhaustive, but I don't believe it's exhaustive, but it is a very good overview of what we're going to cover. And then I've also added a pacing guide on Blackboard as well. That's geared towards an in-person class. So it's geared towards a 5-day-a-week in-person class, and we're roughly going to follow that schedule. So how we're going to have the videos arranged is that I'm going to post videos of each individual topic that we're going to cover in this class, and you're going to find those organized by week under course material in Blackboard. And I may do an additional video kind of going over how the Blackboard structure is going to work for this class. But you can expect to find all of the videos posted in Blackboard organized by each week, and you can kind of follow along more or less at your own pace. And my goal is to try to be about a week ahead in terms of my lectures that I'm uploading, but you can watch those on your own time. Okay. Yeah, here it is, contact policy. You can always do your judgment by phone, email, but I'd recommend email. And as I said earlier, my response time is 24 to 48 hours. So the grading scale here is actually just for your benefit, meaning it kind of just tells you how well you understand the material, but given it's a credit, no credit class, the details of these grades don't matter very much. So I wouldn't worry about the difference in an A and an A minus or an A minus and a B plus in this class. This is more for you just to get kind of a feel of where you are in the class. So our assignments for this class, we are going to primarily be doing weekly homework assignments on a program called ALEKS, and I will post a link for that. It's something you have to pay for. I don't know the exact cost of it, but I don't think it's too crazy. The idea here is that you're going to go on and you're going to go through weekly homework assignments that are on there, and you have to master each of the topics before you're allowed to move on to other topics. But you're given a set of problems each week that you need to or a set of topics each week that you need to complete for that week's homework assignment. Okay. And I'll explain a little bit more about ALEKS here in a little while, possibly in a different video, but we'll have some more information on that. Okay. And again, those will be weekly, and you will just have to, all you have to do is complete those topics, and if you complete it, you will get 100% on the homework for that week, okay? And I want to I'll talk about the midterm and the final here in just a second, but I want to talk about the grading structure here. So I'm doing 20% of this class is going to be based on homework, okay? So that's those completion grades I just talked about a minute ago. If you complete all of the homework, you will receive full credit for this 20% of this class, okay? And then I'm also going to do several little online quizzes throughout the semester that are also going to be on ALEKS, okay? Those are going to be, I'm not going to proctor those necessarily. They're just going to be quizzes that, again, will kind of help you get a benchmark of where you are at, okay? I would encourage you to take those seriously and to really use those as a test to kind of see where you are. Because we are going to have a midterm and a comprehensive final in this class, okay? The midterm is going to be worth 20% of your overall grade, and it's going to cover everything up to that point. And that is going to take place on Saturday, March 2nd, and it's going to be at 1 p.m. And later in the semester, I'll post a little more details as to where that's going, which room that's going to be in, but it will be on campus. We're also going to have a department final. This is a final that's written by the math department. It's designed to be a final that just kind of assesses where you are and sees if you're ready to move on to the next math class, which would be college algebra, okay? This is going to be on Saturday, May 4th at 1 p.m. Now, I will say, just really quickly, that these are both required in-person exams, meaning when you signed up for this class, you agreed to take the midterm and the final in person. As a matter of fact, we'll pull that up real quick. If you go on to My WSU and class registration and then click on My Class, when you sign up for this, you will see here that under section information, all that kind of stuff, it says that the midterm and the final are both going to be in-person exams that you're required to attend. If you have an extreme well-documented circumstance, you may get in contact with the testing center to see about taking the exam remotely through a proctor where you live. Now, typically what that means is if you have you have to live outside of the area. So if you live outside of Sedgwick County, basically, you may contact the testing center about doing that, but it has to be under extreme circumstances. And I don't say this to be difficult or to create undue stress, but it is important that we have the in-person midterm and the final so we can get a good assessment of where you are at. So, if you have a vacation planned or something, that will not be seen as an approved reason to not attend the in-person exam. My recommendation would be that you go ahead and drop the course or find another way of taking the course or at another time. Just because that is kind of what you agreed to when you took this course. And your advisor should have shown you that as well when you agreed to take the course online. If they did not, I would go take that up with them. But again, you also have a couple more weeks to get a full refund, and or at least another week, I think, to get a full refund in dropping the course. So if you find this is an issue for you, this is not something you're able to do, that is certainly an option for you as well. But if you are under extreme circumstances, we've had students who are deployed overseas in the military. Well, obviously you're not going to be able to make it in person. Contact me and the testing center about that. And if you have any questions about this, again, you can also email me as well. If you're curious if your situation would qualify, you can always email me and I'd be happy to talk with you about that and try to advise you with what the best option for you is. But these are expected to be in-person, well-proctored exams. Okay. And then, like I said, the midterm is 20% and the final is 30%. Okay, so late assignments. I don't typically do late homework assignments. Having said that, if you have an extreme circumstance pop up, just communicate with me. I try to be a person. I try to be someone who understands circumstances. If you need extra time because something pops up, I understand that happens. Just try not to make a habit of getting into that. I typically try to recommend students get their homework done on time because it's very difficult when you get behind on on your homework. When it comes to exams, though, I'm a lot more strict about that, I guess I would say, for lack of a better word. I do expect you to be there on time on the day of the exam. Now, obviously, things happen. If you get, terribly sick or you're in a car accident, again, just email me. I don't do this to make it difficult for you. It's just a lot more of a challenge for everybody involved to try to make up an exam. So I'll need some kind of a documentation that you're not able to attend an exam if you're going to miss it. That's all I would ask. Okay, I typically don't do extra credit in this class. And again, this is mostly just because this class is designed to just kind of see where you're at and get you prepared for college algebra. It's not necessarily designed to hurt or help your GPA in any way, right? So because of that, I don't do extra credit in any way in this course. Okay, and then with the tentative schedule, like I said, you can check out the pacing guide on Blackboard to kind of see where we are at. So that's kind of an overall just kind of overview of the course. And like I said before, if you have any questions at all, I would encourage you to email me, get with me, come visit me during office hours, schedule an office visit if you want to talk to me about anything, or just want to meet. That's fine as well. I would definitely encourage that. But I really look forward to this semester, and hopefully look forward to hearing from all of you throughout the semester. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and have a good day.